Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about some of the most heartbreaking realities we face in India: beggars, poverty, child labor, and people with disabilities struggling to live a dignified life. These are issues we often see but sometimes overlook, and I believe it's important to discuss them openly. Let's get started. The harsh reality of begging in India. On the streets of India, it's common to come across beggars, people who have no choice but to ask for money just to survive. Many of these people are elderly, disabled, or without families to support them. Begging is not a lifestyle, it's a reflection of a system that has failed to provide for its most vulnerable citizens. The government and NGOs have made efforts to address this issue, but the scale is overwhelming. There are millions of people across the country who rely on begging because they don't have access to jobs, education, or social security. But we need to ask ourselves, how can we, as a society, ensure that these individuals don't have to live this way? What can be done to uplift them and offer a dignified life? Let's dive into poverty and the struggle to survive. Poverty is the root cause of many issues in India. It's the reason why millions of people don't have access to basic necessities like food, clean water, and shelter. Children go to bed hungry, families live in slums with no sanitation, and healthcare is a luxury they can't afford. Poverty creates a vicious cycle. Those who are born into it often remain trapped without the means to break free. Despite the economic growth India has seen in recent years, the wealth isn't being distributed equally. The rich get richer, and the poor continue to struggle. It's heartbreaking to see people working hard every day but still unable to provide for their families. The cycle of poverty continues, and we need to come together to find solutions, whether through charity, government action, or grassroots efforts. Now, let's explore child labor, the future at risk. Child labor is one of the most disturbing aspects of poverty. Instead of going to school and getting an education, millions of children are forced into labor to support their families. They work in factories, on the streets, or even in hazardous conditions, often for very little money. Child labor robs these children of their future, trapping them in a cycle of poverty. We need to do more to protect our children. Education is a basic right, and every child deserves the chance to learn, grow, and create a better future for themselves. Unfortunately, poverty forces families to make difficult decisions, and in many cases, child labor is seen as the only option to survive. And next, we'll look at people with disabilities struggling for dignity. People with disabilities are another group that faces tremendous hardship. In India, many disabled individuals are denied opportunities for education, employment, and even healthcare. They are often marginalized and forced to rely on others for survival, and in some cases, they too end up begging on the streets. Creating an inclusive society that values and supports people with disabilities is not just a moral obligation, it's a human right. We need more accessibility, better job opportunities, and stronger social support systems to ensure that everyone, regardless of their physical or mental abilities, can live a dignified life. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to think about these important issues. Begging, poverty, child labor, and the struggles of people with disabilities are all interconnected problems, but together, we can work towards solutions. Please like, share, and subscribe to help spread awareness, and let's continue the conversation. Together, we can create a more just and equal India.